Hello and welcome to the channel. This is my first podcast ever, and be certain I'm going to ramble on because the topic I wanted to talk about today was something that has been very, very passionate for me and something that I needed to get off my chest. So my name is Hannah, but the podcast's name is Toxicani. So welcome and let's get into the topic. Now, when my I was starting my undergrads, I joined a public university called Choka. It was under JAB, so at least you know some of the fees will be taken care of. I also had a sponsor, the actual sponsor, not these other street names for sponsors and the like, just a sponsor. She was an Italian lady and she was paying for my fees. It was actually a good thing because at least after the fees has been taken care of, your family will be able to take care of the little that is left, and that is your upkeep and maybe emergencies whenever you need to do something in school. Anyway, now when I was joining my undergrad, I was as green as possible. I had no idea what normally goes on in universities. I was clueless. So I think my first week or two, I was trying to find my bearing and maybe to get to know what to do with life, because moves really fast when you're at the university. Immediately you get there, there are people who are celebrating about their freedoms and enjoying life, and now they can do whatever they want whenever they want. And then there are others who are trying to figure who they are. Some want to, the confusion of being a young adult. I know most of you can relate. So when I joined, I came with the trauma of adolescent. Just how crazy it gets when you're undergoing through those hormonal changes and everything in your body does not make sense. Your emotional state is just a mess. Now I had that. I was clueless and ignorant. I love where I'd come from, let's say, a society where people going to the university was not such a common thing. People went to the university, but not as much as maybe currently they are. Back then, I think I was maybe in our small village, I was maybe like the third or fourth person to go to the university. And most of the people who had gone to the university before us never came back, or there are people that you couldn't talk to because now they're in a league of their own. You can't just go talk to them and ask them what normally goes on in the university. So I'm going there with no knowledge at all of what I'm supposed to do. And the people who brought me to the university also didn't caution me as much as they should have. So my first year of university, I was depressed. That is the first time in my life I think I got really depressed. And from a very humble background. I grew up without parents. I was raised by my grandfather. So when I'm saying like that was the first time I got depressed, you can imagine just how much trauma I had to go through in my first year of university. I'm normally an AB student, but the first year of university, I was a D student. I got so many Ds, I started doubting if I really belonged to the university, but I understood where I was getting them. You see, my sponsor was taking care of my fees, so everything is paid for, but you're not paid for food, upkeep, and then I didn't have a smartphone. Every update was being made by the lecturers about assignments, about, let's say, what else? Assignments, cuts, maybe makeups and whatever, class changes and the like was being done via WhatsApp. I don't have a smartphone, so I don't know what is happening in that class. So the minute you're getting to the point where you're sitting for your exams and everything, you've missed like 4 classes, and there are 4 important classes because most lecturers at the university cover like a topic, an entire topic in one lesson. So if you miss that lesson, you've like missed the entire topic. and they're not going to go back to it just because you didn't have a smartphone. So I don't have a smartphone. I don't I don't know what's happening. I'm confused half the time. And with her paying for the fees, I didn't have food, but I had a room, I had a place to sleep in. Most public universities in Kenya don't offer meals. At least in private universities you pay for it via your fees and everything. Like you can get meals if you're living in school. In that university, I was living in school, but you couldn't get meals. So I already have three major problems that I'm dealing with. And I don't have friends here. I don't know anyone. You can't interact with anyone. You can't tell them what you're going through. I love back home. If I tried talking maybe to my brothers and maybe my relatives, I don't think they understood the seriousness of what was going on. So my first semester was so bad. It was so bad. It was so painful. I used to cry almost every night, every chance I got. And I was alone, or I was just somewhere where no one could see me. I would cry my eyes out. I was feeling so bad. You're so hyped. Your entire high school, you're so hyped about getting to the university, getting good grades and going to the university. Things are going to be better in the university. So coming from a humble background and being told that your life is going to change once you get to the university, it's a big deal. So my hopes were so, like, zilikuwa tu juu. I was so excited to go to the university, and then to come from like 1,000 feet to zero in the first week of university. And then something I also noticed was I went to orientation. It took a week. I went to the orientation and everything, and I think I understood most of the things they were talking about. But the minute I got my timetable, I'm looking at this piece of paper and I can't tell the difference. I don't know what is my class. I don't know. You know, public universities, I think they have, you just let free. It's like some sort of farm, and then your animals you're just thrown in there and let to roam free and do whatever you want. But then at the same time, you're supposed to understand what is going on. So I was as clueless as possible. I tried calling the only person that I thought could help me, but since I don't have a smartphone to take a photo for him to try and highlight whatever my classes were supposed to be, he couldn't also help. There's nothing I could have done at all, at all, at all. So the first week I was I was just dealing with a lot. Then the second week, my arsenal, or what should I call it, my food stock started disappearing. Like, it's inikuisha inaisha tu pole 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 pole. But at the same time, when you call home, you know people don't have the money to sustain you over there. But I don't know. I don't understand what normally happens. But anyway, we all know people try. At the end of the day, they try. So you run. My second week now, the problem of food arose. Now I am still dealing with. I'm trying to catch up with my classes. I don't have food. I don't have a way I can print out notes, because lecturers, the first few weeks, they don't just start introducing the lessons and everything. They give handouts for people to go and photocopy and do the like. But since I wasn't in any group, I never got any notifications about those handouts. So the second week, I'm dealing with the food shortage, sorry. The third week, it's even worse, because now any money I was left with went to try and sustain me through meals, buying small meals and fruits to survive. Now I don't have any cash, I don't have anything. It was the loneliest time. And then whoever you're trying to reach out to, most of them I felt like they didn't understand, because I would call someone 3 days in a row. I haven't eaten anything, maybe a banana or two for the 72 hours. And then you call someone you to help you out, and they say nah, they don't have the the ability to help you out. They can't, like, there's nothing they can do for you, so you have to figure it out. And you're wondering, I've been trying to figure it out for the last 3 days on an empty stomach. What else am I supposed to figure out? And at that point, you're just 19, you don't know anything. It was scary. I hated school. And then it got to a point where one of my close relatives told me, if you can't survive in school, why don't you just defer? Like, you go outside 1 year, you try and work and gather some money, then you come back and do it. I think I hung up on them because for me that was not an option. My sponsor is struggling, on the other hand, to make sure my university fees are taken care of. And here I am saying now I want to defer. That's something that she could have never understood, or I don't know. It's something that could have made her withdraw her financial help. So that was not an option. I stuck there. Anyway, now, at least I think after a month or two, our roommates noticed. Like, every time they said, let's go outside and eat, or let's buy something and eat, or let's cook something, I would walk out of the room. She started noticing that trend, and she came through for me, because when she went shopping for her own food stuff, she bought some for me. Nilikuja tu nikapata my locker has food and whatever. And then I looked around and she was the only one in the room. I asked her and she told me, yeah, she bought it. She bought them for me. And I told her thank you, and I was so happy about it. But deep down, I was like, no, 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 I don't. I didn't want you to do that, because most of the time when people try and help you out, it becomes like a master slave relationship. You can't just be friends most of the time. This is someone I don't know. This is someone I've never interacted with before, and she's just willing to help me out. She did she did that severally, and she was not the only one. A lot of people in school started noticing such things, and then we shared classes with her. So every time she would print out notes, she would print double or twice and bring me a folder or something. And life started looking up, though I was still very, very depressed. I was still, I think almost every night I used to ask for God to just end everything. Like, I was so tired. Your entire life you've been struggling with everything, everything. Nothing comes easy for you. Every day it's a struggle. For you to go to high school, yes, you have someone taking care of the fees, but you don't have the transport to get to the high school. Sometimes you don't have some people are going for familiarization trips and educational trips. You can't attend such trips, and they are vital maybe to something you're studying, because you don't have the money, but your fees are taken care of. And I thank God for that, because were it not for them, I don't think I would have made it. Anyway, now in the university, and things are still worse and painful. I started doubting the plans that God had for me, or the universe. Like, nothing made sense. Nothing really made sense. I was arguing. If from the time I was 6 years, since that's when my mom passed on, to that moment in time when I was 19 years old, all along I've been struggling with everything. What was the point of me getting to this point where everything is supposed to be better and nothing gets better? It didn't make sense for me. So I got really depressed, and I wished for death. In every turn I took, everything I did, I wished for death.